All right. So I had some stuff to. I had to fix my stuff here, but I think I got it working now. So it looks good. All right. Ready to get started? Got a lot to discuss, you guys. Got a lot to discuss. Welcome to Ohhh Cap. This is my rebranded YouTube channel here. I am going to be discussing a lot of different things. So we were recapping TV shows, um, and just talking about different things going on in life, pop culture. I'm gonna have a good time. So if there's anything that you would like me to talk about, you request. I can request. You can inbox me. You can comment. You comment anywhere on the videos, and just send me topics you want me to talk about, and I will do my best to go ahead and go live and talk about them. Today, though, we are going to be discussing this Real Housewives of Atlanta situation. Yeah, um, I do have a special guest that will be coming soon, hopefully. Um, you guys haven't seen us together in a long time, so it's going to be very cool when he does arrive. Hopefully, he makes it. All right. So when he gets here, we'll be good to go. But I'm going to go ahead and just talk a little bit about what I've been watching, and we'll go from there. Huh? Huh? Wait a minute. This is strange. Why don't I see him backstage? He said he's on. Oh, maybe it's because of my layout. Nope, that's there. Hmm. I don't know what's going on here. But so some key housekeeping things. So make sure you guys like and subscribe, and remember that all commentary is alleged. Remember that all commentary is alleged. Um, It usually gives me a notification when somebody's backstage, but for some reason it's not giving it to me. And I can't pull him into the live. Um, hmm. This is really strange, you guys. So yeah, we are. So but let's go ahead and start. Um, so episode. So we this was episode 5. So I'm just backing up just a little bit to give you guys a little to catch you guys up if you haven't been watching. So episode 1 kicked off. I'm not going like deep dive into each episode, just like highlights and cliff notes basically, so I can catch you guys up to where we are now. So, as you know, this was supposed to be Portia's comeback season. This was Portia's comeback season, and she returned to the show, um, but not in the way that we expect her to. We wanted her to, like, we were hoping to see her in her new life as a married woman again, and living her life as Mrs. Guabadia, but unfortunately her life took an unfortunate turn, and she's going through a divorce again. Um, and she's back to being Portia Williams, unfortunately. So she's going through a lot right now, and so unfortunately, we're not going to see her in the way that we were expecting. So it's going to be a whole different vibe from Portia this season. But the saving grace that we have Shamia. The cool thing about Shamia is that Shamia is basically she's connected to everyone, so she knows everybody in the group. So it works out for her. It's working out great. So with Shamia being the one that's connected to everybody, it helps to make the cast make sense, in a sense. Um, So, as we all know from the headlines, Kenya's role, she's no longer a peach holder this season. Her role was shortened, but we got to see, Kenya and Portia in a new light, coming in as as friends now. They're cool now, and everything's all settled with them. Um, Unfortunately, not much can be said about Portia and Drew, who are bumping heads this season, because of Drew. And it started off, you know, it made us think that it was the issue was Drew working with Dennis, but it's not really Drew working with Dennis. It's more so the fact of Portia does not want Drew to film with Dennis on the show because she don't want a situation to happen to where Dennis and Drew are talking, and let's say they're talking about Portia, and then it ends up getting twisted as a way of that they were dogging her. Because you know sometimes these shows, you know, they can record stuff and stuff can sound one way, but it'll come out a whole different way. So that's what we're trying to avoid in the show. Um, but yeah, um, that's what we have with that situation. New girl, we have a new peach holder named Kelly. Kelly's a little firecracker. Kelly actually comes in hot with Shamia um, about Portia before Portia even hits the scene with the girls, basically asking like, you know, what she said. I want to know why she stole that woman's husband, and I said, already? That's what we're doing, episode one, cracking up. Um, but you know, we all know. Again, all commentary is alleged. We all know that she did not actually steal that woman's husband. Like you can't steal somebody that's already out the door. As we all saw that the paper was already filed, the ink was already dry. And plus the ex-wife had already had a baby in the stomach from the man that was working that's supposed to be the assistant. So yeah, that marriage is already over. Um But anyway, we're going to fast forward to Shamia's birthday party, where the girls meet Kenya. So there's Britt, the new girl Britt. What's going on? Hold on. Oh, never mind. Did it work? Uh-oh. I think he's here, y'all. It's just for some reason not letting him. Let, but he's oh, there he is.
There it was. Okay.
I don't know. He made it, you guys. He made it.
What? So what's going on?
What's up, brother? A pinch of a. Oh, well, I'm saying pinch. I'm over exaggerating. You lagging.
Huh?
You were lagging. Now I can't see you.
Let me see if I can do it on my phone. I feel like the screen is okay. Neat. Okay, so I'm gonna cancel this one and get on this one.
Okay.
I'm gonna cancel this one. Am I on?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so this one seems like it's working better.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's going on? What are we
What's up,
talking
brother?
about? What's happening?
All right. So I'm just pretty much doing a real quick like Cliff Notes catch up. Did you watch? Have you watched any of the five episodes?
No, I have not, but I have seen a lot of the clips though. Like a lot of the clips on my timeline, I have watched. I'll stop and watch it if it comes across.
Okay, so from the clips that you've seen, um, I'm gonna try to go through. What do you think of the new girls? Well, I mean, Shamia is not really new, but she's new as a peach holder. So, how do you feel as Shamia as a new peach holder?
I think that she's like one of those people, or I should say, one of those television people who are like borderline star, but built to be a co-star. So I'm trying to see like who's gonna be the lead of the show. And I think she fits that, but I don't think she has like the that Nene, that Kenya, that drama-fied type of bone to carry for
Gotcha.
seasons on seasons. But I think she's good for the show. I just don't know the role.
Well, I think how they kind of made it because of Portia's like situation. I think they like adjusted it with Shamia because Shamia is actually friends with everybody.
Yeah,
So it made it more like well, Portia's been my bestie since childhood. Then I know then Shamia also knows Britt and Kelly. Then Shamia's friends with Cynthia and Kenya through Portia, and
yeah.
so that's how. So basically, Shamia is the one that's connected to everybody and has
Okay,
everybody connected.
cool. That's
Basically,
good. I mean, she is well known in Atlanta, and she does work everywhere.
she
I
does.
don't think it's like she be everywhere. Like she works everywhere. Like that girl got a bag coming in from all types of places.
She does. What do you think of? We'll go with Kelly.
I don't know which one that is.
That's the waffle lady.
Not a fan, but I don't know.
What about Britt?
That's the one Ken got into it with, right?
No, Britt's the one that Kenya got into it with.
Who you just asked me about?
Kelly.
I don't know which one that is.
Kelly is the one that asked Portia why she stole Cece.
Oh yeah. She brought it up when they was sitting in the white, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I c- I don't know if this is the show. Reality TV, yes. I just don't know if this franchise, if she's meeting what Nene would call the standard. I just don't know. It gives very much Zeus, Love and Hip Hop. It gives very much like Girlfriend. It gives very much that vibe.
Okay. No, I mean you just say you're not a fan, but just go a little bit. If you can give us a little more, Brit.
Which one is Brit's the one
That's
that
the
got
one that
into it, King?
that's the one that got into with Kenya.
Baby, good for TV. Good for TV. I think she came looking for some moments. I think sometimes the lights get too bright for certain people.
Hmm.
Like you finally get to where you're a fan, and then you finally get in front of the camera, and it's like, oh, I gotta show out, I gotta perform, I gotta da 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 da. Everybody ain't built for that. I don't know if she is, but like I didn't see it for Portia for a while. I didn't see it for Erica from Love and Hip Hop for a while. So it just I, I'm probably not gonna end up liking her because how it her coming on ended Kenya. So I'm probably not gonna end up liking her, and then that'll probably be the reason.
Gotcha. And our returning peaches. How do you, from what you've seen, how do you feel about Portia's comeback so far?
Lackluster. I feel like when the season started and I saw Shamia first,
Yeah.
it told me a lot. Um, it also told me they had probably way been filming before they probably negotiated with Portia's deal. But I feel like it's not gonna live up to the hype because it's just you know that she don't know these girls like that and she don't have no history with them, so she
Mhm.
can't they can't match her talent level yet because she has so much experience on the show. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yes,
So like she's gonna have to like either force herself to get in these girls' business when she really don't care about them, or she's gonna have to have Dennis and some other shit going on that they gonna have to bring to the show.
gotcha. I messed up. We had one more new peach, Angela Oakley.
I don't know who that is. Let me
That's the
look her
one that
up.
got into it with Shamia.
I
They
didn't
called,
see it.
called Shamia Flavor Flav, and Shamia said she had a 1999 nose.
Hold on, let me look this girl up so I can remember which one of this is. Oh yeah, pretty girl in some pictures, pretty lady. Um, it do give the RHOA. It do give that. I just don't. I think it's a lot of plus ones on the show, and I think that the show is built for stars. You have to, even if you don't have the energy and the aura yet, you have to be a star when you get there
Hmm.
for them to take advantage of it and pull what they can out of you. And I don't see that right here.
Gotcha. Um, Returning peach, Drew Sidora.
Mm. She gives me early Cynthia vibes in the earlier seasons of how she was just like a tag along. She had her own storyline, but it wasn't strong enough to be a lead. But she had enough stable situations and storylines to keep her relevant. I think she's a pretty girl. My one of my friends actually does her makeup, but she's a nice pretty girl. I just again I think it's a franchise thing. I just don't think the star is bright enough for this type of show. But nice girl. I actually listened to her album too.
So, real quick, for this cast, so Drew and technically Kenya were the only two that were kept from last season.
Hmm.
Do you think they were the right two
Who
that were?
was who was all on last season?
Last season was Candy, Marlo, Sheree, Sanya, Drew. That was it for Housewives, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Candy leaving the show was a huge impact on the lineup of the show. Sheree, definitely her time has come, especially with these new girls, her time has come. Nice lady too. Met her a couple times. Marlo definitely had to go. Definitely was a she finally got the peach and she got her one. She got her season. That's okay. Um, King is no longer. Drew is back. Then you Cynthia. Cynthia had to go too, but she's built to be a friend of the show. She's built to be a friend of the show.
So you think she's doing well from what you've seen? You think she's doing
Hmm.
well as a friend?
I think she's doing. I think she knows what they want from her
Hmm.
this season. So I think she's there to bring that.
How do you think? So I mean, how do you think Candy would have meshed with these new people?
I don't think she would have meshed with them outside of like a big sister boss mogul type of girl that they could like be one day, or like they could just kind of be in the circle of the happenings of Atlanta. And if, I mean, I don't think there would have been too much interaction. That's why as soon as Candy left, the first thing that went in my head was rebuild.
Because I think, I mean, honestly, I think it would have technically been like I feel like Portia would have still came back, and it would have been like Portia, Shamia, and Candy, who are pretty much. I mean, Shamia, yeah, it's a new peach holder, but she's still technically a vet on the show as far as because she's been here.
Mhm.
So it would have been like Portia, Shamia, Candy, and Kenya as vets
Versus the new girls.
versus the new girls. Not really versus, but you got these four big vets. I mean, Drew is kind of
I think that I
betting
think
it a
that
little bit.
I think Candy's star ran out on the show.
Hmm.
Um, Not that her star ran out in life, but like ran out on the show. And I think bringing Portia back, a very very strong personality. I don't think Candy is bringing nothing to the table outside of Candy Coated and Candy. The business of Candy is going to be the driver, not the wife and the castmate and the girl from Atlanta. I
Right.
don't think that was worth bringing. I don't think that was worth bringing back for the show for her or for the show.
Okay. Now I know you said Marlo needed to go, but do you think Marlo would have been a good fit with with as far because she is one of the younger girls? You
To
don't think
to
she would have been a good fit with this new cast?
Yeah, I think when I think of Marlo, I think of like a, I don't mean this in a bad way, but more of a like a, to me, Marlo is who Sheree would be if she just stopped the class trying to be, I don't want to call it classy, but she tries to be like very, very like walk the line of nice nasty.
Gotcha.
I think Marlo is how she actually is in real life. That's how she actually is, like Marlo. So for me, Marlo would have fit in. You could put any cast around Marlo because she's a chameleon. She can hang with the 60-plus-year-old girl. She can hang with the 25, 30 ones that's still out bopping and dopping. She gonna find her way. She's a hustler. She a survivor.
Nice. And I think so we only have Kenya for 5 episodes, and we'll get to what happened in a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and just fast forward to Shamia's birthday party, the all white party, um, where Kenya is meeting the new girls.
Yeah.
She made a comment because Britt wasn't wearing her wedding ring. Like they were all talking about marriage and everything like that.
Hmm.
Oh, so you're married. But I don't see your wedding ring. And then she posts. You see that this is my ring. This is my second marriage. Da, da, da. This is upgraded ring. And so Kenya said, "Oh, so this is the new ring. This is an upgraded ring from from your previous marriage." No, it's my new ring. It's like, no, it's my new ring from
The second marriage.
my second marriage, my current marriage. Right? Britt took that as Kenya being shady.
Hmm.
However, everybody that was there that heard it didn't really feel like she was being shady. They felt like she
Hmm.
was genuine at getting to know her, asking the
She was
question.
trying to get clarity.
Yeah. So, oh well, never mind. I'll have to ask you then. How do you feel? Did you
No,
feel
no,
like
no, no, no. I think she meant it shady. I do. But I think it was to get to a point. So she was trying to get the truth. She was trying to get the tea, but she was being shady about it at the same time. So I think it's both of them.
okay?
And I think that Kenya knows how to do that very well.
Gotcha. Um, so Portia can't. Simon sent a cease and desist to Bravo, so Portia can't film at her house. She had to film at her mom's house all the way in Duluth, which is
Hmm.
like 30 minutes away from where
The
Shamia
city.
lives.
Where does Shami live at?
I forget where she lives.
Um, they both probably live north.
It was 30 minutes. It's 30 wherever it is. It's 30 minutes away from
Hmm.
Duluth. So Portia can only
That's
film at
down
her.
the street in Atlanta.
True. Portia has to film at her mom's house in Duluth, and then plus it was y'all people. Well, not y'all people, but because you're from here. But people in Atlanta don't know how to drive in the rain. Um, so she was
So,
late for the party. So she was late for the party, and kind of got there when Shamia was getting her birthday gift as a Rolls Royce, and she kind of like interrupted the moment a little bit.
yeah.
Do you think that she should have waited in the car with production, or just gone up when she went up?
Um, it's hard to answer that question
Like, do you
because
feel
I
like she purposely interrupted Shamia's moment, or was she just excited for her friend and just that she was there?
I think she was excited and it led to the moment being ruined. I don't think her intention was to ruin, but sometimes you can make a mistake and something just happens.
Hmm.
But I also think that I don't now that we know that that was going to be the opener for the season.
Hmm.
I can see them telling her, "Hey, wait, this is a big thing. We think this is going to be the opener. Let's just have you do a little slow walk up to the door type of thing. Let her have this moment. Then we're going to film you." Da 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 da. But once she's already late and it's already things going on, parties in motion, people's there. They obviously know production's there, so I I, I don't think she should have waited because it's just like more time already been wasted.
All right. Now, cut to Portia versus Drew. Um,
On this episode, this the first
It,
episode.
yeah, this is where it started, and then it bled into the second episode. So it's gonna bleed into it. Uh,
I thought the girl. What about when the girl asked Portia about why she took that
oh
girl's
well,
man?
yeah. We'll go ahead to Kelly, asking Portia at Shamia's birthday party, um, why she saw that lady husband, and
Cause
Portia walked off.
yeah,
Do you now? If we go back to when they had the dinner, Shamia, Britt, and Kelly, Shamia did say, like, pull her to the side and talk to her, and ask her if you have the question. But do you think she really meant, like, hey, I'm having a birthday party, it's gonna be my birthday party, just ask her my birthday party?
yes, I do. What I do think that. Mhm.
Do you think that was the appropriate setting?
I don't think there was an appropriate setting because first of all, it's none of that girl business, so it's never going to be appropriate setting. But they are filming the Real Housewives of Atlanta, which is very messy, and all the girls on there is messy, and Portia is the messiest one. So I'm coming.
Air.
I'm a new girl on the block, and I'm coming to make a statement on the camera that I know is going to be shown on the episode. This is a question they're going to put on the episode.
Hmm.
I'm not going to ask her when she's walking to the bathroom. Hey, why you take that girl man? I'm going to ask her so they can get all the other girls' faces, so they can get all the girls' cameras, so they can hit all the different angles and see who's looking at who and who's side eyeing who. And I'm going to ask it in front of the group because it's a group topic because she stole the girl husband on national TV. It wasn't in private when she stole the husband. Why am I ask her about stealing the husband in private?
All commentary is alleged. I mean, I think we still disagree on this. Like, I don't feel like she stole that woman's
She
husband,
stole
because
that woman husband.
that
And it ain't
woman
no,
was
it
already
ain't no,
sleeping with the help and already pregnant anyway, and the papers was already filed.
and she stole that lady husband. And he was married to Fallon, right?
Yeah, and Fallon was pregnant by Jalen already, and
Hmm.
that's why Simon filed the paperwork. So
We
they were
went to dinner.
already.
We went to dinner with Fallon. Me and Ashley, my best friend. Her and Fallon is friends. We went to a little Bow Wow spot. Something on Peachtree. I forget what it's called. Ace on Peachtree, Vine on Peachtree, some shit. We went me, her, Farron. We went to but this was before she was pregnant. Or before they was married.
Before
Yeah.
she was married to Simon, before she was married to Jalen.
Jalen.
Mm.
Pretty girl. Super pretty.
Was this before they went on couples therapy?
This was in like September, October last year, 2024.
Oh, this was after couples therapy then. Okay, got it. Mm.
Pretty girl.
I'm not gonna. She was a beautiful girl. She's a beautiful girl. Um, but yeah,
Okay,
we
what's the
disagree
next
to
thing you
disagree
was
on
about
that.
to ask?
So go ahead. So Portia walked off from that.
Hmm.
But we'll get back to that for the next episode. So Portia versus Drew. Shamia basically asked the question, Drew, are you dating Dennis?
Messy, 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 messy,
But
messy.
it technically wasn't Shamia's question. If we go back to the dinner, Britt is the one that brought it up and said they walked into that party with matching outfits. And if you saw the screenshot of the picture, their outfits were definitely
Color
color
coordinated.
coordinated. Huh?
Probably.
The
That's
outfits were
fine.
color coordinated a little bit. And then why is Dennis asking, inviting Portia to Drew's birthday party when Drew is supposed to be Portia's friend? That's like,
Supposed to be a friend and is a friend is two different things.
that's fair.
I have seen the individual. them individually so many times here in Atlanta, and I have never seen them together. Not one time. And not all friends go out together. That's not. Some friends just talk on the phone. Some people, whatever. I've
Hmm.
never seen them together. Never seen them at no spot I've been to.
But you know, that's like if your ex was a producer and I'm working on a TV show and I don't let you know that I'm working with your ex.
I mean, he did the whole album, right?
He did do the whole album. That was a very poor example, by the way. Um,
I
so,
was gonna let you ride with it. I said, oh, okay, all right.
um, so the issue with Portia is that her issue is not them working together. Her issue is them filming together and how it could look on the show. So,
People gotta stop picking and choosing.
well, I mean, well, think about it like this.
You
If
ran through that one lady house with three other hoes with no shoes on, and her when you met that lady husband. And the next thing I know, on the next season, y'all married. Girl, shut up. Portia got to stop that
that
foolishness.
wasn't her friend though.
Portia got to stop that foolishness. And I don't even mean everybody got to stop that delusional part of like, oh, I can do it, but you can't do it.
Well, it's different. If we're like, you know what I'm saying, we're friends. Like, you're my brother, you're my friend. Um,
Drew don't owe that girl nothing. They are castmates. They are not friends.
well,
And what difference do it make? It ain't he. Baby, Dennis be outside.
we know that. But it's not even that. It's the fact. It's the more so the fact of let's say we're on the show together.
No, you don't need no other examples. We know
No,
what
no, I
happened.
have
We
to,
watched
but
the
I have to
episode.
say like you don't want your. But I'm saying like it's more so about if me and your if like me and you are friends, and then I'm filming with your ex on the show, and we having a conversation about you, right? And how it can look on camera, it can look like we're dogging you when it could be something completely different. So that's
They
Portia's
showed
whole
this. They showed this alleged scene already.
what?
Drew and Dennis talk meeting up to talk about Portia.
No, they didn't do all that. But that's what but that's her point. Her point is she doesn't want Dennis filming with her the other cast because that'd be just like Drew wouldn't want nobody filming with Ralph.
I don't think she would care.
So what are you talking to Portia about? Like, I mean, she
I
has
don't
her
think
own
she
fit.
was
She
that
has
kind
her
of
own. She
person.
already has a trainer. Like, she doesn't need you to train her.
I mean, that's. I mean, they getting divorced, so I don't really care about what the divorced person is doing.
But Cynthia even said like Kenya hit her up first. Like, hey, I want to talk to Leon about being in the Life Twirls On movie. Like they sat down and had a whole conversation about it. And then Cynthia was like, yeah, that's fine. You can go ahead and call him. Yes, sir. Yes. Okay. All right. Sorry, y'all. Um, it's about a genuine conversation and giving me a heads up. That's all.
I don't think
Uh,
there's nothing wrong with it. I just think you can't walk through life thinking people that you can't feel entitled to somebody's communication.
but then and then also we have to add on to Drew is an ambassador for her hair care line, and she tried to set up a some kind of event without which was a breach of her contract without letting upper management know that she wanted to do an event for the hair care line. And
Yeah.
I work for the Hilton, and they don't not companies do not play about that branding stuff at all. If I were to do a Hilton commercial on TikTok without their permission, I lose my job. Um, so it's the fact that she went behind her back twice. And then this isn't the first, and Portia's not the only person she did this to. She also did this, uh, again, all commentary is alleged, but Candace said, if you remember Candace from Potomac, Candace said that Drew had went to her manager and asked her manager if she could open for Candace on when Candace go on tour. And she didn't have
Opening
the
for Candace is crazy.
and she didn't have the conversation with Candace.
Okay.
So it's just a behavior pattern. That's all. But cut to um cut to you know, Brit still feels some way towards I said Candy, Kenya about the whole rank thing and she's gonna drag this. She's gonna drag this. Um Angela feels that Shamia is being Portia's mouthpiece. But on the flip side, Angela is being Drew's mouthpiece,
It works like that.
which causes friction between I said Drew, Shamia and Angela. And then they have an issue at Kelly's a little bag day. Forget what it's called. But basically everybody got to go in and buy bags and makeup and everything like that at her shop.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a mommy and me day. That's what it was, mommy and me event. And everybody brought their kids. Portia and I said Portia and Brooklyn. Portia and PJ wore their matching outfits. Kenya and Brooklyn wore their matching outfits. Then PJ and Brooklyn had a little play date. That was pretty precious. Like it's good to see Portia and Kenya in a good space after all these years. Like good to see them getting along.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks that we were kind of robbed. We were robbed of that for the rest of the season, but we'll get to that. Um, we'll get to that. Shamia and Angela get into it again. Angela calls Shamia Flavor Flav. Shamia says Angela has a '90s nose and looks like she could be a member of the Jackson family. Um, yeah, it was crazy. Portia and Drew get into it again. Um, then the episode ends. Cut two. We'll go to the next episode. We'll just skip to episode 4. In episode 4, they had a little sit down dinner where Shamia comes in. She brings a bottle of olive oil with a branch inside give to to give to Angela. It says, "I want to offer you an olive branch and apologize." Da da da. And they make up right then and there. Now they were at. Have you ever been to Bankhead
Mm-hmm.
or the bank? It's called
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the bank.
He's called the bank, yeah.
Yeah. How'd you like that?
It's a big ass play. I've been there when they use it for a club,
Mm-hmm.
but I like it. I like the space.
Oh, yeah. So they had a little sit down dinner at the bank. The girls were all supposed to all wear all black, but of course, Kenya came in green. Everybody comes in all black. She wears green. Um, they have this. They do this little. Of course, they do a little game where they got to fill out the cards and ask questions to somebody at the table. It starts off fun. There was a question to Kenya asking her what color panties she had on. I think that was Portia's question. And Kenya pulls up her dress, and they're like, "Damn, your vagina is big." Da da da. Like, so, big old laugh and everything like that. Then Drew asks the next question. Drew pulls the next question, which goes to Kenya, and it says, Why is she so worried about other women's marriages?" I think I think Britt wrote that question, but Kenya said skip it. Already answered my question.
Right.
Um, but then the next question gets pulled, and it's for Kenya, which we find out in this episode. Angela wrote the question, and it said, "Kenya, can you can you say something nice about Britt?" And Kenya's like, "Well, I can say something nice about everybody here." And then Britt's like, "Well, no, the question is about me. I have the floor. Can you say something nice about me?" And they start having a little back and forth at the table, and it led to Kenya saying, "Well, you know what? You want a moment." And Britt said, "Well, no, you want a moment." And Kenya said, "No, I am the moment."
Thank you.
And she said, "I don't have to give a moment to peasants."
Thank you.
And Britt got pissed because she called her a peasant, and that set her off. Kenya got up from table to leave, and Britt is still on 10, and everyone is saying like Britt is overreacting. Like the worst thing somebody can do is call you a peasant, and you go off like that. How you feel?
I mean, I can't say how she should or should not feel because I don't know what her history is with people making comments like that about her. Maybe she from, maybe she used to be homeless when she was a kid, so maybe that's a trigger for her when people call her a peasant because she don't ever want to go back to being broke, or maybe she like, bitch, I didn't work too hard to ever be called a peasant, bitch. I work bust my ass every day, so I would never even go to be it. So like, I don't know how she should react because I don't know her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she was overreacting because I know there's certain stuff that matters to me that most people probably wouldn't matter to them. So I don't think she was overreacting, but she probably was playing it up because she knew that they was filming.
And that was something she said. She said you can play from the you play for you said that for the cameras. This is real life. She was going off. This is where everyone is divided at. So before it was said that she made a threat to Kenya, but she made a statement. And I'm not saying that Kenya is wrong for feeling threatened, but she didn't say it directly to her, and she didn't say her name. So she said, so what she said was, but Kenya was in earshot, but she didn't say it to her again. So she said, "I don't play like that. People keep trying to play with me. I have pistols and whips and da da da." But again, she never directly threatened Kenya.
It's a
Direct.
threat. It's
It's
still a
a.
threat.
It isn't. No, I wasn't. I'm not saying that it wasn't a threat, but she didn't directly say it to her.
Yeah.
And with that situation, social media is divided, of course, because someone went to the archives and found a video of Kenya in her house talking to Brandon
Mm-hmm.
about, and actually showing her gun
Mm-hmm.
and saying that she would have to carry it for Phaedra,
Mm-hmm.
and she actually said Phaedra's name.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think it's kind of a double standard with this situation? Because she actually did have a gun. She actually did show her gun on camera. Britt didn't. Britt said something, verbalized it, but she didn't actually show a weapon.
Do I think it's a double standard of what? One
Uh,
person getting criticism, another person that didn't?
right.
Um, n- I think I think that's why knowing somebody's character matters.
Hmm.
So it probably didn't weigh as heavy when Kenya said it because they knew her character was to be the villain of the show.
Hmm.
So it probably didn't hold that weight because people like, girl, you're not no ghetto girl. You from Detroit, but girl, you're nothing about you is Detroit. So like it didn't hold no weight because they look at the person first and then what they said. With the
Hmm.
new girl, we don't know you from a can of paint. So we only can go by what you said and what you might do. we don't know your character to know, does she joke like this? Do her friends talk like this? Is she from the street? Like, there ain't no backstory of her to give it any context. So that's probably why she's getting backlash.
Okay.
To me, it was just to me it is a threat. Yes, but does Kenya have felt threatened? I would say no to that part, but it is a threat.
Okay. And that's where we get to the commentary in the car. So Kenya gets in the car with Shamia and Portia, and they're talking. And she said, Kenya's like, that girl's crazy. Like she shouldn't even be here. She doesn't need to be here. She's talking about having pistols and stuff. And Portia Shamia like, what? We didn't hear that. Like, because they didn't hear it. They were already at the car. And so they're like, what? And so she's like, yes, that girl is crazy. She doesn't need to be here. And that's when we get those reactions. So then,
Great.
cut to this episode. Shamia has Angela and Britt at her house.
Mhm.
It's the next day after the restaurant, and they're talking about the situation that happened. And Britt's like, well, I don't want Kenya to feel like I would do something to harm her. Like I was really upset, and I went a little
Mhm.
crazy. I went overboard, and I apologize for that. But I don't want Kenya to feel like I would do anything to harm her. Cut to Kenya, Portia, and Kelly looking at models for Kenya's spa event. Pause. Have you been by Kenya Moore Hair Spa?
Mm-mm.
Not even gone in, but like just roll by it at all.
I
Okay.
don't think so. I don't know where it is, but I don't even know where it is. But no, I don't think so.
So yeah, she has her she's setting up for the models for her spa event and how everybody's gonna do their little walkthroughs and everything like that. And it's just good to see Portia talking, basically defending Kenya. And she said,
Yeah.
she basically told Kelly like, Kenya had disengaged. And
Yeah.
and the thing was that her disengaging, like she's trying to get out of there, but then Britt just kept going and going and going, which is what happened. Kenya was like, I'm ready to go. Portia, let's go outside. And Britt is still on 10. And Portia even said in her confessional, she's like, you know, Britt had a different. Um, Britt wanted to see what she wanted to see with Kenya, basically. Um, she had a preconceived notion of her, and that's how she was. That's how she basically took everything. She had an expectation of Kenya's gonna come for me as a new girl because she's the HBIC of the show right currently.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be like she's gonna be trying to like school you as a new girl, and that's how Britt basically saw Kenya, and so she was pretty much all ready for her. Instead of like taking the moment to be like to try to like sit back and see how she was. And she's
Mm-hmm.
expecting one Kenya, but she got a different Kenya, basically. Is what
Yeah.
it. Which cut to Portia having lunch with Britt and talking to her about the situation. Um, and Britt even like, saying like, I take accountability for what I said. I do want to, meet up with Portia. I mean, meet up with Kenya and apologize. And hopefully we can move past this and eventually become friends. Dun dun dun. Um, I just want to touch on Angela and her daughter. So Angela's daughter is basically married, but she didn't tell her mama, and it's just best friends. Uh, how would you like? Just how would you feel if just let's say your best friend in general? Well, we'll say me. How would you feel if I got married and I didn't tell you?
Uh, I probably wouldn't feel no way about it actually.
That's
Um,
I want you to be broken up about it.
yeah, I probably wouldn't feel no way if that's what y'all thought was best for y'all just to wake up and go down there or whatever. That I wouldn't feel no way about it. I mean, when I was in the 12th grade, I was in the 12th grade. I came home from school. My parents had got married that morning, and we didn't know.
Oh,
Yeah, they got married. That we all went to school. Me, my brother, my little brother. We came home. They was like, "We married this morning." I was like, "Oh, for real? All right." Literally, that happened. So I wouldn't feel no way because like that's what y'all decided was what y'all wanted to do for y'all's relationship. Okay, cool. I support y'all. I might be like, damn, like I wanted you to have a big wedding and I wanted to get dressed and I wanted to put my shit on and shit like that. But I'm 5 minutes later, I'm not gonna care
5 minutes later,
at all.
yo, on camera he not gonna care, but behind the scenes he gonna cuss me out.
Bitch, the audacity, bitch.
um, so now we're at Kenya's hair spa event. Um, we see Miss Lawrence make his return back to the show to
She
congratulate
always
Kenya.
somewhere.
I actually met him when I was in Atlanta at we'll say I was at an event to celebrate Milan,
Hmm.
and yeah, the event was very long, long. Um, and then kind of find out the actual event didn't start till 10. Um, but anyway, but yeah, he was pretty cool. He was nice. Um, but yeah, it was just like good to see them have a moment of like he basically like say like a lot of stuff that I do is because that I'm able to do is because of you. Da da da. Just basically a celebration of Kenya. So Kenya does her whole thing. She celebrates she does the ribbon cut, and has a little big celebration
Yeah.
event like that. And then after all is said and done, the hair show and everything, here comes Kelly and Britt, strolling a little bit late. Britt walks up with flowers and a card, and she apologizes. Can you guess what Kenya does?
No idea.
Walks away, and then she asks for the room's attention. But as she's commanding the attention of the room, Britt says, "You know what? She ignored me. I tried. I'm going to go ahead and leave." And she left. So Britt is no longer in the room. So Kenya is like thanking everybody for being there. And then next thing you know, she says, well, somebody, tried to bring me down and take food off my table, out my daughter's mouth. And, you know, they wanted to have a moment with me. But I've always been that bitch, still that bitch, da da da. That's what she said, quote. Um, and she said, the person decided to come in here with some fake flowers, told them to throw the flowers out. And then Kelly was like, well, let me hold the card. Let me at least give you the card. She said, I'm not reading that card, burn it. And Kenya went and grabbed poster board number 1 and said, the person said, I don't know who they are. And I was like, I don't know who they are. So I did a background check.
Mm.
And the poster board said, who is this hoe? Britt
Oh wow.
Edie is her name. And it was uh, basically work that Britt had done, her facial work, nose job, boob job, all that other stuff first. She said, and this is just number 1. I'm just getting started. And Portia in her confession was like, Kenya is crazy, laughing. And she's like, well, wait, if this is sports board number 1, I can't, I mean, what's she got coming next? Now, I'm going to say this. Had she just did poster board number 1, I think she would have been fine. We could laugh it off, ha ha ha. Then she brings out poster board number 2. I forget what was on. Oh, she was a video vixen. She said she is a video vixen. Then Kelly walks out. She said she was girl. You was a video hoe too. Da da da. And she called Britt. She said, "Ho, we gotta go." And Britt's like, "Is that time?" She said, "Yeah, it's that time. We gotta go." And then Kenya pulls out poster board number 3, and this was the revenge porn. And somebody, I think it was Shamia, she said, "I don't want to see no picture of somebody of that girl sucking no dick." And Shamia said, "Kenya, that's too far." She said, "No, it's not too far. She threatened me. She threatened me. It's not too far. It's not too far." Now, I'm gonna say this. I personally think, the porn thing was a little bit much. I think she would have stopped with the first two. She would have still had her peaches to be cool. But the the poster board with the porn and stuff, it wasn't a good look, especially at the time of what was going on with Bravo and the whole well, I know you know why, but the whole Vanderpump Rules situation where Raquel was actually, well, Rachel is her real name. Rachel was actually suing Bravo about the revenge, saying revenge porn because of the video of her and Tom Sandoval on FaceTime masturbating to each other. So because they were going through that situation, that's why the whole Kenya situation is what it is, where she pretty much, they said, we halted production with her. So
Mm.
so in your opinion,
Mm-hmm.
well, wait, sorry, let me finish this thought real quick. Um, so here's my issue is situation because Brett had already left. She wasn't in the room no more. She wasn't even there. So you took this was a moment for you. This somebody made a moment for you that you worked your butt off for, that you spent your hard-earned money on. You even took your daughter's college fund and put it into this business, and you ruined your moment by highlighting somebody else that wasn't even in the room.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody was just like, this is too far. Cynthia even, told us, she's like, that was a lot. It was too much. You were bigger than this.
Is she?
And Ken's like, I know I am, but it had to be done. People are gonna stop disrespecting me. And
Well,
then Bravo put up the little thing, due to this issue, we production has ceased filming with Kenya this season. So, in your opinion, do you
that's a
think the
wild
gun
statement.
situation warranted revenge porn?
Do I think what Britt said to Kenya warranted revenge porn?
Yes.
I don't know if I can answer that question. I would say don't fuck with anybody because you don't know how they gonna fuck you back. I think we all have different levels. I think with Kenya being on the show so long, she knows how things can linger and drag, and you use this argument to fuel that argument. The next thing you know, it's a whole blow up for the season finale when we finally actually fight. So I think Kenya went for the kill shot right off the bat. Like, this young bitch is coming for me. Let me shut her down and end her now. I think that was probably a mistake in hindsight, but at the time I could see why. So do I think it warranted revenge porn? No. Do I think it warranted to whatever she felt her response was should be? Yes.
How do you feel about Bravo ceasing working with her for the season?
This is a hard question because I see so many. I was when you had texted me earlier, I started looking at Twitter.
Hmm.
It seemed I saw a lot of people saying she deserved to be fired, and I just don't agree. Like, I just don't agree. For one, the quality of the show has gone very physical throughout the years. And a lot of those, I don't remember nobody being arrested or couldn't perform or couldn't come back or shit like that. Um, I also don't know if it was a production telling Bravo, we're never going to film, we're halting with her, or Bravo was directing them to never film with her. So that's a hard thing for me because I just can't, because the talent works with the production company.
Hmm.
We very rarely actually talk to Bravo.
Yeah.
So to me, it still is a thing of, I mean, y'all filmed it, y'all shot it. Y'all
Hmm.
seen when she was doing it. Y'all seen what it was soon as she held it in the air. Y'all still took it back, edited it down, cropped it up, and it's made it to episode 5 of the season. If it was worth her job, it probably wasn't worth showing it that part of it anyway. But
Well, I think.
because but
Oh, go ahead.
because y'all have been dragging it for what, 8 months now, that this was kind of a highlight of the season, and she has been posted about she wasn't fired, and somebody was saying she wasn't fired, and she was on the radio saying she could never be fired. And because y'all have dragged it out as a collective, Bravo, the production, and Kenya, they have to show it now because now we want to know what was we talking about all last summer. So it's like I I don't think it deserved to be fired because I feel like they benefited a lot. Like it carried the season. Like I was expecting to see that in the first episode because of how much they talked about it, especially here locally and in the media. On it, just how much they kept talking about Kenya's not filming no more. This, and like y'all carried it. Like, so I don't think the girl deserved to be fired, but I do the think as soon as she held the boards up, y'all seen what it was. Somebody from HR, somebody from the whoever's the production manager of filming should have said, "Whoa, this is outside the guidelines. This could be lawsuits. This could be civil. This could be federal. This could be a violation of Bravo's public decency policy." Or like somebody should have been on that immediately.
Well, I think that's why they ended up. I think that's why, because they stopped filming for a few days after that, so I could figure out what they were gonna do.
They
Uh,
should have stopped filming the moment she held it up
mm,
because it's not a live. It wasn't a live event. It happened 8, 6, 7, 8 months ago.
yeah.
Y'all got time to, hey, we're not doing that. Everybody take a 15-minute break. Let's review the code of conduct. We're gonna come back. We're gonna shoot the ending of this shit because she already did the majority of the event. The event's almost up. We're just gonna do some high goodbyes, get people leaving, get in their cars, and then we out of here. That's what I would have did as the production manager because your responsibility is to protect the product. The product is the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And if there is talent on the show that's violating policies, procedures, and laws or whatever, you sometimes have to protect people from themselves.
Hmm.
I'm quite sure Kenya don't know the Bravo handbook, but I know that production manager does. I know whoever signed that building insurance agreement for them to pay that location fee. I know they know the agreement. So I feel like they dragged it to help the show. I get it, but at the cost of supreme talent on the show at the same time. Because
But
it's
do you
just a
think she
hard,
ruined her moment though?
huh?
Do you feel like she? I mean, I feel because this is me. I personally feel like she ruined her. This was her moment.
No, I don't think she ruined her moment
She
because
made
to
it about somebody
me,
else.
yeah, yeah, I think she made a segment of the night about somebody else, but it didn't ruin her moment. The building is still in standing. It still got publicity. It still got millions of people probably watch this episode. People, girls around the city going to it. Like I think it took away from the evening as a collective because it's classy. Everybody look good, feeling good. Everybody's out. It's an Atlanta event, so it's free because they want them to come and film for free. So like they gonna get everybody they can in there, make sure everybody's up to par and check everybody's outfits, IDs, all that. Yeah, okay, cool. But did it ruin her moment? No, but it put a bad stamp on the night. Like if I was one of the extras
Hmm.
and that was the last thing we filmed for the night, film for the, I would have been like, damn, like bitch, now I gotta go home all like bitch. I wanted to go home turned up, like I wanted to get a couple more drinks and bitch. Now I'm going home because this bitch did violate the code of conduct. Like it would have just ruined the night, but I don't think it took away from her moment because her moment was made.
I got you.
I just yeah, it's a hard especially it's hard thing to say that she should have been fired when allegedly Nene then choked the white girl. Cynthia kicked the girl on the thing. They talked about somebody being raped and drugged, and that girl wasn't fired. So it's just like
Phaedra was fired.
she wasn't. She said that at the reunion, correct? So they didn't offer her a peach. I guess that can qualify as fired, but to me, not really.
Sorry.
But
Well, Phaedra wasn't fired for. I'll say Phaedra was not let go for that. She was more so let go because Candy said, well, because the cast said they didn't want to film with her.
there you go. So for me, it's this. There's just been like I put in the comments of the shade room today. I said if I'm being honest, I don't think Kenya did anything that's outside the bounds of what the franchise is about. To me, I wouldn't have been shocked to hear about a sex dungeon. I wouldn't be shocked to hear about peels. I wouldn't be shocked to see somebody post a cardboard of somebody sucking some man off. I wouldn't be post shocked to hear about a leaked phone call that somebody secretly recorded or like nothing on this show. Unless they actually start throwing blows would surprise me
Hmm.
because, and I think that's another thing when you film in a reality show that's built to be messy, sometimes it get real messy. And a lot of people think that messy is here. Messy is
Yeah.
all over the spectrum. So I don't think she did anything that's outside the bounds of the show as far as content. But I think
Hmm.
again, you have to let talent know when they're going too far because you have to save people from themselves. Because just like me, like if I was Kenya, I would if I was Kenya or Candy or if I was Sheree or one of the OGs that's been on the show, and this new bitch coming on and she's only been here 30 minutes. She's talking about I carry pistols and then whips and da 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 da. Oh, I'm not filming with this bitch. I'm not filming with her. Not because she ain't good enough for the show, because but she don't know the weight of the show she's on. We tussle. We might push a wig back. We might throw a drink at, but we don't get into federal and civil. We don't. That's love and hip hop.
Yeah. But I also think, we can, I mean, granted, she wasn't talking about a pistol or whip or anything like that. But if you go back to season 5, Portia and Kenya's first girls trip, and they was battling. And Kenya said, "Well, somebody says they deserve to get punched in their face." And then he said, "Oh no, I know that dressing got you thinking that shit." Like, I really feel like with situations like this, like it's something that Kim always said, like Nene, Kim, and Sheree and Lisa always knew that there were certain lines you could not
There's
cross.
a code. There's a code.
Like no matter, I feel like no matter how mad Sheree or Kim would have gotten at Nene, they wouldn't have gone stooped so low as to find old pictures of her back in the strip club.
Because they know what they got to lose, and they're to me it's hard for them to sell firing her when y'all have spent 10 plus years making her a villain. If she had been Drew in
Mm-hmm.
10 years and had did this and Drew's been on stayed on the show for 10, 12 and did I would be shocked because her character is the victim.
Mm-hmm.
She's the heartbroken. He hurt me and he let 3 kids and I'm starting over and I'm trying to do my music and I'm so sad. Da, da, da.
Yeah.
It would shock me for her, but y'all have spent 10 years showing us Kenya's heartless side. She's ruthless. She talks about Mama Joyce wigs and calls everybody out their name, and she does this back cheat back and skim. She was allegedly messing with Apollo, and y'all let that run for a whole season and all. Like y'all have built her character to be the villain. So she showed y'all what a villain looks like
But
without
I
y'all
will say,
having
in
without
her
y'all
defense,
having to edit it.
Yeah, I will say in her defense, and this is me being a new, because I have not been a Kenya fan like that. I have not been Team Twirl like that. But I would say the last couple of seasons I have been like, Kenya's grown on me. And I've seen Kenya in her soft in her soft she was in a soft girl era. And I feel like even starting this season she was trying to be in a soft girl era, and
It wasn't gonna work.
Britt wanted Britt wanted the old Kenya back, and Kenya
Production
growing
wanted the
up.
old Kenya back.
Yeah, we'll say that.
The TV show needed the old Kenya back. Soft girl Kenya. There's enough soft girls on the show. Everybody has a role on the show.
Mhm.
Kenya, your role is set. You either sign up for it when the season starts, or you don't go back to the show.
But I think honestly, episode one, Kelly was set herself up to be the new villain. But
The new young girl villain.
the new young girl villain, yeah.
You can't feel the OG villain. That's just Kenya's. It's the reason why her and Nene had a love hate relationship as characters on the show, not personal growth, but as characters on the show. It was two villains like fighting for that number one villain spot,
Right.
and Bravo was tug of war and trying to see
Hmm.
who's going to get the most engagement on social media and in the world to see who should we push as the villain but she outlasted her. Kenya, she just was the villain and she did it well. Nene is a soft girl at heart, and Kenya is too, but not for TV. Kenya knows she's showing up to work.
But with Kenya being her soft girl era, the villain ended up for the last two seasons prior. The villain kind of ended up being Marlo in a sense.
Hmm. A real villain, a real life villain, not a
In real
TV
life.
show, not a TV show villain, which is Kenya. That's why I just can't. To me, this call had to come from Bravo
Hmm.
because production knows talent. They know when you want to film. They know when you need a break from filming. They know when you're gonna show up late. Like production is with them start to finish before they shoot, after they shoot, talking about the scene. Like it's hard for me to believe that production is the reason why Kenya. I just can't see that happening because they literally built her character from scratch. This came from Bravo.
That's fair. And I think, honestly, it goes back to I think it was because of the whole Raquel situation in the lawsuit. They were in the midst of that lawsuit, and
Hmm.
it's like we
We
cannot
can't
go
have
in.
another thing.
Yeah,
I
so we're
just I
gonna.
just can't see that call coming from production.
Yeah, but Andy said the door is open for her return if she decides to return next season.
I think if she comes back next season, you can't spend the season talking about how she missed half the season.
Right.
So come back. To me, if I was Kenya, I couldn't come back unless they was. I could probably miss a season, this one and a full next season, and see what type of money they offer. But after you publicly embarrass me like this, and you basically made me a disposable character overnight. After somebody hits you so low, you can't come back. There is no coming back.
And I feel like I feel like they should have gave Kenya the Kim Zolciak treatment to like still bring her back to do her confessionals at least
Yeah,
for the
have
first.
her film around the house, away from the girls, on taking phone calls in the bathroom from the girls,
Hmm.
not with the girls. Y'all just literally cold blinded cut said, nope, done with Kenya.
Like, and because it was really disappointing. Like, I'm glad we got to see her story, but I didn't want to see Kenya's story through Kelly's eyes. I wanted to see Kenya's story through Kenya's eyes. I
And
want
what about the
Kenny.
other stuff that they probably ain't gonna be able to show us that Fit Kenya was present for? She did like I'm probably sure they got footage of so much shit they probably wanted for episode 11, 12, and 13. Now they can't even show it because Kenya was a part of it, or Kenya was there, or Kenya was sitting in the middle of the group, or maybe it was Kenya's lunch, or like there's probably so because they have to order the season after they get all the footage
Hmm.
to show the storyline that they want to show throughout the whole season. I'm probably there's so they probably got so much shit they had to delete.
But Kenya's gone, and then they haven't said yet, but Phaedra is supposed to return to the scene at some point, holding a peach.
So Phaedra, she's already been officially. Oh yeah, so she was. That's why she jumped off the other show, so she can come on this show.
That's what they said. But she left her trip, so she left the cast trip early from Married to Medicine because she got into it with Shireen.
Um,
They invited so
I do
Apollo
think
wasn't.
she gonna
They
be
invited
good for.
Apollo. They invited Apollo onto the cast trip, onto the couples trip, and those and so Phaedra thing was gonna be her and Apollo, and but she brought her boyfriend Shaq, and so it was gonna be basically Phaedra, her boyfriend, and then Apollo. So Apollo ended up they I guess Dr. Heavenly told Apollo like, well, she brought Shaq, so bring your wife, and Apollo brought his wife, and it ended up being a whole situation, and she called Phaedra Fei Fei, and Phaedra looked at her and said, "I'm not. My name's not Fei Fei. You bad built bitch." And yeah, yeah,
Too much
it was a
drama.
lot. It was a lot. But she said, "I don't do this mean girl behavior." She got on her private jet and she left right back to Atlanta
Okay.
and snatched her peach. So at some point, she's returning as a peach holder. Um, so how do you feel about Missy's and recasting like that though?
I think it's a desperate move because you're basically saying you're trying to fill a void that you don't know if the other talent can fill. So you go and find available proven talent that you know can help fill gaps in your roster. I think it could potentially change the direction of the season
Hmm.
because Phaedra, even though she's not really a rah rah type of girl, she does come with that type of ability. So I think it looks desperate. I feel like they should have left the peach unclaimed for the rest of the season. Um, that's how I think. But at the same time, when you in the midst of production and you've already paid for everybody and you've already got budgets and stuff approved, and somebody becomes available, somebody's no longer available, you got to switch them out and see what y'all can, because you got to salvage the season.
Yeah,
Because I'm quite sure Kenya was going to carry the season. Like she was going to be a major player in the season by voice or by presence.
right. So if did you see the video of the taglines? Have you seen the taglines? Have you heard taglines?
Mm-mm.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that next time. Um, before we end this, like, I just want to know, like, if you could cast, let's say you're in charge of casting,
Mhm.
who would be your peach holders? Let's just say season 17, just to be fun. Who would be the perfect cast for season 17 for you?
Of Real Housewives?
Yeah,
Um,
you can include this cast. You can include past cast members, or if you want to include new people, you can do that as well.
um, that is a good question. Um, that's a good question. Who would I cast? I'm trying to think of like Atlanta girls that's not on the show. Um, um, I definitely think you definitely need a Portia, for so many different reasons. Yeah, let's just go with the current cast first. The only one I would keep is Portia. I think Shamia. just depending on how the rest of the season flows, like with her. So Portia Shamia, I would probably go a different direction, like a Tamar type of personality. Um, I would go with a Fallon. Um, I would go with um. I'm trying to think who's the other girls.
Would you bring back like a Shamari DeVoe?
No,
I
never was a fan of her on the show.
What's wrong with
Um,
Shamari? That's a facts.
I'm trying to think of who else. I'm gonna find me some girls because I don't really. Portia, Shamia, I said Tamar, Fallon. But you need a Kenya. You need a bad girl, but not a rough bad girl. Like I would do a Kenya again. And then you need another young, new wife, new baby mom type of girl. So I don't know who though.
So you wouldn't keep Drew or Kelly?
No, no. I think like I said this before, I think Drew not the show is above her, but there's probably other reality shows that fit more of her. Like to me, she's like a love and hip hop Hollywood, like
Got.
way out on the West Coast type of with like Ray J and like his wife and those she's with that crowd.
Hmm.
I don't and then she's a classic girl. She is, but just her talent doesn't scream Housewives of Atlanta to me.
Gotcha.
So that's why when Nene used to say the class of the show has gone down, I understood what she meant as far as talent.
Gotcha.
Like I don't think these girls can create scenes that will last forever. Like
Hmm.
I can't see Drew ever giving me a who gonna check me boo. I just can't see her pulling something out of her that is just gonna be iconic.
Yeah.
So it is. I mean, hopefully they have a good season, but yeah, I don't know who I would bring to another season.
Um. So I agree with keeping Portia and Shamia. Definitely Kenya. Um. I mean, because I've been
Oh,
watching.
and by the way, I always knew that Shamia was gonna be on the show. Always knew from Radio One to working at the Hawks games to the Candy Connection. I always see her, and I always told myself since I've been here 2 years, she is gonna be on the show.
Hmm.
It just made so much sense. She had the husband, she had a bomb ass car. She's always on the radio. It seems like she pre-records stuff because they play her on B103 all day. Like she's always at a basketball game or a charity event live from B103. We're out here with the Boys and Girls Club. Like she's always, and then at the Hawks game, she does the halftime show with the guests. So like I always knew she was gonna be on the show. Um,
How do you like her song?
I do like the song. I don't understand the I thought it was Drew. I don't hear the vocal connection, but um I do like the song. I don't
I'm gonna
think
be
it's
honest. I do. And I love, and you know how I feel about Portia. I do think Portia was being shady in that moment, but I also think it was the shade was stemmed from Kelly, her and Kelly talking earlier, and Kelly basically telling her that Shamia told her to approach her at her birthday party.
yeah.
She's like, my best friend told you to ask me that question at her birthday party. Like,
Yeah. Cause she probably expected you to handle it different.
so I do think she was harboring a little bit of shade for
Yeah,
Shamia
a
saying
get back.
it
It was
was.
get back. Yeah.
um, but yeah, if I could do a casting, I would take out Brit. Honestly, I would take out Drew and replace them with, if she decided not to return to Married to Medicine, I would say Quad.
That's a good Real Housewives of Atlanta castmates. Quad,
Yeah,
that's a good one.
over there. And
Very fiery.
I, so I never really felt like she was good for Love and Hip Hop. And even watching Love and Hip Hop with her on it, I don't feel like she needs to be on Love and Hip Hop.
Who?
Sierra,
Sierra.
nail shop
The
Sierra.
one that hosts. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do because she is very ghetto. And there's a different level of class that I don't think she would have to dig deep in her to make it on Real Housewives of Atlanta because she's cut from a different she's more street than sweet.
Hmm.
So I think she's actually a perfect fit for Love and Hip Hop. To me, what makes her different is that her brand and her business is her selling point. And
Hmm.
but Love and Hip Hop wants to sell personal first and
Yeah,
business and that second. And to me, she's the opposite.
gotcha. That makes sense. But I would say, but you know what? I forgot. I don't know why I forgot about her. They made her a friend, and I feel like I want to see more of her. Manetta.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't think she would ever be a peach holder, but she's a good girlfriend.
Like I just want to know. I want to see more of Manetta. Like I
And
like.
she was somebody's ex-wife, right?
I think Neos.
Yeah, Neos. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, Manetta. And then yeah. Well, we can keep Phaedra. I just love Phaedra.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they can put a good cast together, but we'll see.
Yeah. So did you watch Married to Medicine at all? Right. See the clips or
I
anything?
always see the clips though. I always see them arguing about their husbands, and the husband saying he ain't gonna take the other husband's patients, and the Dr. Heavenly said something about gay people, and then her son is gay or some shit they were talking about, and then Quan got the new husband with the new card and the girlfriend. I'll be seeing the clips so much.
So did you see Dr. G's song?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to.
It's just so weird to me that like throughout this when I guess whenever they filming or like the show is not in season,
Hmm.
I never hear about these people in Atlanta. Like, I don't never see them hosting no events, no bookings, no.
Well,
Uh,
Dr. Heavenly, you always see her on YouTube.
I don't see none of these folk. I never even got to go to Nini's lounge before it got shut down.
I know. I really wanted to go when I came to Atlanta, but they
It
said
said it was nice way out there in
it was in Duluth.
Duluth, where she live at, but I never made it out there. Never.
Well, guys, this was our little show. Me just telling people where they can find Jad.
Find me where you find me, honey.
Y'all, thank you so much for joining us for the recap. We shall return again soon. Yeah. All right,
See you
brother.
guys.
I'll check in with you, brother.
All right.